Oh, yeah. Welcome, everybody, to another edition Outside Looking In. My name is Bruce Negrin, and we're talking about the issues that emanate from Montgomery County and beyond. How are you doing? I'm doing okay. It's Friday. You know, thing that worries me a little bit about this podcast today is I'm not passionate about anything. I don't have fire. I don't have the energy. I don't have all of that stuff that makes me me. But what I do have is great disappointment. Yeah, it's just I'm disappointed because I'm disappointed in people not actually being smart enough to understand what people are being told and things and just ignoring the obvious. And what am I particularly talking about? I'm going to talk about inflation as the first thing. All right. Last month, I get the idea that inflation is falling. That's trumpeted from the mountains. Inflation is falling. Bidenomics is working. How you doing? It's working. This month, or the new inflation report comes out, inflation's gone up. I'm not surprised. Should you be? I mean, seriously, I haven't seen a damn thing anywhere. What did I just say? No passion. Here it comes. I didn't see a damn thing anywhere in any store that tells me prices are going down. Gas prices up. You know, that's probably what's fueling the whole thing. No pun intended. But I don't see anything that's much cheaper. Eggs might have come down, right? Eggs, the barometer of the economy. Eggs. That tells you that something's wrong. But seriously, stop. Stop telling me that inflation or things are getting better when I don't see it. I mean, I'm not looking, and I'm micromanaging. I got my spectacles on there. I got my monocle, and I'm looking at each price. I don't see any difference. It's all going up. And these companies are going to get hit with it. And this is what my son says all the time. This is what Ryan says. He goes, the problem with inflation is that the companies are never going to deflate anything. Now that they got their price marked, this is what it's going to be. We talked about this a couple weeks ago when I said with gas and the refineries and all of that kind of stuff where I never thought it would come back down after Katrina, but it did because it's based on OPEC and et cetera. And people have to make their money and they have to get the gas out. But here with these products, with Procter & Gamble and Campbell's Soup and all of this, eggs, farmers, it even comes down to our subscriptions. That's another thing. It's like the other day, Disney Plus and Hulu, because Disney owns Hulu, is telling us that they're going to raise the prices, I don't know what, $5 per month or something? NFL Plus. Not even the live stuff, but NFL Plus, where my dad can watch the Giants games 10 minutes after they're ended because I don't want to spend $500 to get DirecTV. Even though now that they switched over, DirecTV, but even though they switched over to YouTube, I don't want to get that NFL Sunday package. Just give me the Giants. Then I'll buy it. I'll give you $100 just to give me Giant games. But I'm telling you, the Giants are on, your team is good. What the hell are you getting DirecTV for? Or NFL Sunday package for? Because the Giants are going to be on national television 6 times, probably 5 times, and then 2 times down here because they're going to play the Redskins. So I'm in the Maryland area or the Commanders, whatever. Shut up, all right? I made a mistake. I said the Redskins. Shoot me for that one. Sorry, something gets ingrained in your head for a while. It does come out when you're just in a free flow. But I mean, so there was NFL, Netflix has gone up. All these streaming subscriptions. Pretty soon, if I was a cable company, if I were Fios or I was cable, I'd be like, hey, check your bill. You're paying the same. How you doing? That would be my campaign. How much are you saving by cutting the cord? Zippo, zero, nothing, nada. I mean, it's just ridiculous. People are willing to pay for Netflix and Prime and, there's certain things that are good deals, but there are other things like, I don't know. I'm sitting upstairs with my dad right now watching Friday Night Lights. Why? Because it popped up. I thought about it. It popped up. I said, let's watch Friday Night Lights again. I haven't seen that show in about 10 years. It's a damn good show. I do recommend watching it again if you have a chance. If you're into football, if you're into life, into high school kind of thing, it's a good show. But anyway, we're watching a show from 10 years ago because it is not easy to watch television anymore. You have to put on the Prime. You have to get this. You get the damn circle going around because I don't have 50 million gigawatts of Fios running through my house, even though I'm spending as much as I can. There's no cost cutting anymore. Everything is, you just want us, we'll get Netflix. Screw Netflix. Netflix is repeats. What's the difference between that and Prime? Well, Netflix has good content. No, they don't. Netflix, there's never been a company that's had worst content. And I hate that word. That's on the wall of annoyance. Content. We can't enjoy anything anymore. It's not entertainment. It's content. But Netflix stinks. It stinks. It really was better when it was the disc service. When it was, because you didn't have any late fees. That's why it was better. And you could turn them in and they came to you pretty quickly. That was better. I enjoyed it. And now you can't even see a movie. Well, first of all, there are no more movies out. After Barbie and Oppenheimer, we're going to have 10 months of nothingness. We're going to be scraping the bottom of the barrel because of the SAG strike and the AFTRA strike, which, I can understand it now too. I'm not so much pro-union. But sometimes I understand what people are saying. A writer, right? A writer used to be able to write something and then they would get residuals off of it. That's the way TV worked. That's the way the movies worked. That's the way it worked. Now we add in the streaming systems and they don't get paid anything off of something that gets gone streaming, from what I understand. I could be totally off base on this because guess what? I'm not doing the research. I'm just reading the headlines. Because there's some things that are interesting, some things that are not. But I did hear a report on NPR. I listen to National Public Radio because I'm a lefty. Not true. But I heard it on NPR that someone can make like a dime, $10 off of the show that they wrote that's been sold to a streaming service. That's not right. I mean, people like dependent on that. I mean, when your income gets cut from underneath you that quickly and you didn't do anything wrong and you're still writing and you're, something that you thought, I had a hit, doesn't matter anymore. I mean, the rights. Metallica blew up, what was it called? Napster because of it. But we don't get that guy Lars, right? Talk about anybody who you don't want to speak on your behalf. The artists don't get paid, man. The artists don't get paid and Metallica works hard. We know it, but you're Metallica. It's not the one. You are suffering some. I regret it. I get it. But don't be, you're the obnoxious one. The artists have to get paid. Like that. That's a point that anybody cares about, unfortunately. They just positioned it wrong. But these streaming services, too, when they have to realize that they got to put up stuff. They got to get technical people. They got to have servers. They got to have all of this stuff. So there's so much money invested that they realize it's like, we're just going to get it on subscription service. No. I mean, I'm sorry. After a while, it's like when Netflix falls with subscription services, it's like we didn't meet our expectation for this quarter for new subscribers. No kidding. How many people need Netflix? How many people and their baby need Netflix? You know what I'm saying? There is a limited amount. I don't understand why you think there's an infinite amount of people going to sign up, especially with competition and etc. So this stuff where you thought you're getting away from commercial television, ha 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 ha. I laugh at you. I laugh because that's where we're all going to go back. And you know what the best part is? You're going to pay for commercials. That's what we're starting to do. We're starting to pay for commercials. Give me cable. Files, come back in here. Put my cable back in so I could just sit there for an hour and watch stupid stuff. Where I don't have to make appointment television. That's another thing. Appointment TV. Put that on the wall. That annoys me. And if you sons of guns out there who see me next and start saying appointment television to me, I'm going to punch you. I swear. And I'm like 4 or 5 people came to mind once I said that because they just love, I forget that I do a podcast and I send it out to friends and friends like repeat it back to me. Not verbatim, but they say some of the things that I've said and I forget. So now I'm boring. I've made myself boring because I put my views out on a podcast. It's a conundrum. It really is. I'm serious. It's like, you've already said that, Bruce. I wasn't talking to you. Yeah, but I heard your podcast. No, you're right. That's why I sit in the corner now and don't say anything. I'm not interested at cocktail parties anymore. But seriously, I'm going back to basic cable because, I used to watch Mysteries at the Museum. I used to watch stuff. And it's like if you just wanted to waste time for a little bit, that's what basic cable or regular cable was good for. Cable TV. Just have the clicker, click, click, click. Now you got to click, find, dupe. Ooh, I don't have patience for that. I don't have patience for anything, let alone you're going to give me something based on the internet. But the inflation, seriously, it's ridiculous. Until there's 3 months straight where inflation is going down, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about Bidenomics. I don't want to hear about anything because I see it. I see it. Stop telling me what I see daily is not happening. I mean, it's all around. Everything is more expensive. I mean, we bought this house 10 years ago. Culligan system was in there, so it was cheaper to buy the system than to rent it or whatever. So we bought the system, and now every time Culligan comes out, Culligan Water charges you $185 for labor. Labor, they didn't even do anything. They took out the tank because the tank's broken. We found out that the tank, luckily, it exploded or imploded on itself or something like that. Oppenheimer was here and did that. But anyway, it imploded on itself, and so it doesn't take air. It doesn't matter. Do you care? Why do you care? Why do you want to know about the mundane? I don't want to know about it. But anyway, they take the tank out, say we don't have to pay for it because those are covered for a lifetime. Thank God. Because their labor was $185. It's like I got my damn Mitsubishi fixed. My Nissan, my CRV, whatever. You're Culligan. You're Culligan. You're not a car manufacturer. What did you do? You didn't fix a damn thing. First of all, you're just waiting for a replacement. And $185 to come out of here? You know what I'm thinking about doing? I'm thinking about drinking contaminated water. That's what I'm thinking about now. You know, I'm going to get used to the water out of my faucet because they can't get the damn part to August 31st. And I'm not complaining about Culligan per se, but I'm just talking about all these first world problems, right? I mean, I never had a Brita or a purifier in my house. I had New York water growing up. It was fine. It tasted good. Nobody, I mean, poor people in Flint, Michigan or Jackson, Mississippi, I get it. But here, you know, I'll just get used to the taste of the water here. It will never be as good as New York. It's one of those things. New York, New Rochelle water, that lower area, is always better than any other water. It was refreshing. Here, it's not so refreshing. But I'll get used to it for $185 a service call. I don't have this money to just piss away. Do you? Do you? I mean, and the backlash has got to come soon. It's got to come very, very soon because everybody's going to start going on the cheap because it's like we're going to get priced out. Inflation. Yeah, it's inflation. Wages aren't going up, even though you think they might be. Job market's reduction. We talked about that last week. Come on, man. I'm not looking here for doom and gloom. I swear to God, I am not looking for doom and gloom. But what I am looking for is a straight answer. I just want a straight answer. And necessarily, it's not always going to be the truth, the straight answer, but I do want a straight answer so I can decipher something and figure it out. But for 3 months straight, I want to see a decreasing inflation rate. I don't want it to go for 3 months and then bounce back up. Oop, spike. Oh, whoa, that's a blip on the radar. It's not a blip. I mean, 1 month is great, 1 month is bad. 1 month it's low, 1 month it's high again. Bidenomics. Take a walk with that. Another thing that got me hot and bothered, and again, this is amazing, right? I just start talking. This is what scares me because I'm a pretty calm guy. I'm pretty calm. I don't get that upset about certain things. You know, some of this is an act. It's not really, but it's just like you get agitated about certain things. Hey, let me tell you something. Blah, 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 blah. But I really didn't think I was coming here with anything. I wasn't bringing anything to the table. I just wanted to be consistent, get another podcast out there, right? I have to bring content. I have to bring you content. But my son just got his learner's permit. It only took him 2 tries, which I'm happy about. The first try, it's not that he's a dummy. He's just a dummy studier. Because he's like, Dad. I studied all night. I had to call my friend on Discord so he could keep me awake while I was studying. That was the first time. It's like, Ryan, you know, and this is the best part about my kids. It's like, just do what I ask you to do right off the bat. And I'm not asking you to do anything ridiculous or dangerous or anything of that sort. Study for this test. This way, and when he came out and he failed the first time, I was annoyed. I was very annoyed because I know he didn't put any effort into it. He put some effort into this one, started. I said, Ryan, did you take the practice test? He's like, yeah. I know he didn't. This time he did. He said, Dad, I took about like 7 practice tests. They changed up the questions and I kept going until I didn't get any wrong. I'm like, that's my man. I swear to God, son, I am in your corner. But if you're not going to listen to me at all, and if you're not going to follow any logical, sensible direction, then I can't help you. I'm not in your corner. If you're just going to thumb your nose like Mercurio at everything, then I can't help you, buddy. But this time he studied. This time he came out. This time I was like, my man. I told him, the second time I was in his corner. The first time I was mad because he didn't put in the work. This time he put in the work and he got his permit. So I learned, in the state of Maryland, talk about being underprepared. What do I know about this stuff? My wife is saying, you need 30 hours from an outside tutor or something to get driving, to be eligible to drive or to get your license or even to take the test in the state of Maryland. I'm like, 30 hours, huh? Okay, I took driver's ed. I understand it. And you need 6 hours behind the wheel with a private instructor, someone who's licensed. Okay, I get it. I understand it. So we start looking this up yesterday. And 30 hours by Greg's Driving or I Drive Smart or whatever. I don't even know where we looked up. But it's 30 hours. It's 2 weeks. It's 10 straight days of 3 hours a day. Who the heck wants to do that? You know, I whine and bitch and moan on this podcast. Oh, we got to get tougher. We got to get tougher. We need to be tough. Tough guy. I whine and moan about it all the time. You know I do. But there are certain things that just seem like beaten over the head. I'm about not just moderation. It doesn't have to be moderation. It could lean hard. But that's just crazy. I mean, the kid's got to come home from school at 3, from 3 to 6:15, or 3 to 6. I guess they get a 15-minute break or something. But from 3 to 6, he's got to study driving, look at videos, blood on the highway, and all this kind of stuff. And then he's got to study for real school. Or he could take that stuff at night from 6 to 9. But for 5 days in a row and then another 5 days in a row. I'm sorry. That just seems excessive. 3 hours of anything. Do you? And you're like, Bruce, what are you talking about? I understand the value of it. I understand. Don't get me wrong on that. I understand the content he's going to learn. But I just don't understand how they have to package it in like that. I know when I was taking driving classes back in 1587 that we didn't have it like this. I had every Tuesday I had to go to Ursuline School to a driver's ed course, and then on Saturdays I put in my time behind the wheel. I guess I did it for a semester. I guess I must have done it maybe 2 hours in classroom every week or something, so they spread it out. I mean, what's he going to learn? He's going to be drooling. Bueller, are you here? He's going to be drooling, the kid. And then he's going to have to do homework after that? I mean, 6 hours? He's going to spend more time studying and or looking at stuff on the road, these driving manuals, than he will be in school itself. There's something very wrong with that. There is something very, very wrong with that. But again, I am not looking for him to not get up. But think about it, right? You're like, well, Bruce, this is what's required. Yes, it is what's required. But think about anytime you have to take training. Right? A training course for your online, especially. It's not even in a classroom. It's online. So everybody's going to be into Zoom. Oh, that works well. Zoom, a lot of retention rates out of Zoom. Seriously. Stop telling me what's in my face is going to work. I mean, it's not happening. I just don't see it. I mean, it's just literally logging time now. How much is he going to retain out of this? He better retain a lot. I hope he will. But 30 hours of classroom time, 6 hours, and now that's another $400 for safe driving. I get it. I understand it. You need it. I want a safe driver. But how many hours does he need with me behind the wheel? Or with Gina? It seems ridiculous, but it's not. I mean, in my argument, because I've taken, oh my God. Did I say I was an educated man last week? I have taken the defensive driving courses. ARP sent one out and said, you know what, if I could get $50, $60, $100 off my insurance, damn Skippy, I'll take it. But I was drooling. The only reason it kept my attention is because half of the thing was filmed on 270. And I'm like, oh, if they're going to tell me defensive driving on 270, I'm going to pay attention because that's where you need it.